everybody, it's Benny1 and I'm back at you with another review, and today we're going to be doing the Mandalorian Season 2 review. Earlier on, I reviewed the first 2 episodes, and then I decided I was going to just wait and review the whole series as a whole and my kind of general thoughts on the whole series instead. This will be very filled with spoilers. I'm sorry, if you haven't seen the Mandalorian Season 2, don't watch the video, unfortunately. It hurts me to say that. But come back and watch it when you're done watching the season, because god damn, I gotta tell you, besides like one episode, this season was phenomenal, everybody. I have to say, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars animated show and the Rebels and the original trilogy, you will be very, very, very pleased with what they put in this season of The Mandalorian. That's all I gotta say. Because not only do we get awesome shit with all of our characters that were in Season 1 of Mandalorian, and we get a name for Baby Yoda. Grogu is his name, everybody. That is right. Grogu! Grogu! I feel like I can scream it. Scream it. There's people at work that haven't seen this shit. I accidentally ruined that for somebody at work, and I feel horrible for that. It was an accident. I'm sorry, Eli. But yeah, it's awesome. The show's great. The second episode in the season is probably the weakest episode, I would say, in the entire 8 episodes that they did. It wasn't a bad episode, but as far if you had to take all 8 of them and kind of stack them in an order, that one was just felt like it really had not very much to do with the whole general plot and story of the season. So the first episode, though, was great. Right off the bat, we get this cool Western vibed episode. The whole show is basically Star Wars and a Western smashed together, but they work with Tusken Raiders in the first episode. Awesome shit. Like, you get to see a side of the Tusken Raiders that you've never really seen in Star Wars before, which I thought was really cool. So Boba Fett's armor shows up. Somebody else has it, obviously, at first in the first episode, and that's something that I liked is they didn't just have Boba show up in his armor and be like, oh, there's Boba Fett being badass. Like, they built up to it. They teased it. Because we got a little tease in Season 1 of a shadow of what looked like a Mandalorian. Even though he didn't technically have the armor then. But I love that they teased it. And then they showed him at the very end of Episode 1 in this season also. And they showed his face. So they it's slowly the build-up. And that is way more impactful than just him showing up in his armor. And his armor looked like shit. Like, it was beaten up even more than it was in the original trilogy. So, but yeah, we learned Grogu's name. Let's see here. Bo-Katan and her Mandalorian buddies show up. That's why I'm saying, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, which if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, go watch the Clone Wars. The 7 seasons of the Clone Wars animated Star Wars CG show is phenomenal. It adds so much depth and character developments to all the characters from the prequel movies in between episode 2 and 3. So much. It's a great show. Like, go watch it, seriously. Some people won't watch it because it's animated. It's awesome. Like, seriously, awesome. There's badass lightsaber fights, but we're talking about Mandalorian Season 2. So, Ahsoka Tano is in an episode, which is a great episode. It's so cool to see her in live action. Like, we get to see Bo-Katan in live action. It's just great. Like, they did a good job with Ahsoka Tano because she's a lot older, because this takes place after Return of the Jedi. That's where we get to learn Grogu's name is because of her. It was a great episode. And that one took like a Western and a classic, like, samurai type movie and like meshed them together when her and Mando attacked that one facility when they were going after that one chick. I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. I finished watching this a while ago before I took my break, so I'm just trying to remember everything up here. And then Towards the very end, of course, Grogu gets kidnapped, unfortunately. And there's a really cool scene where he's in a cell and he is just making these two stormtroopers look like his bitches, man, with the Force. He's freaking slamming them up against walls, Force choking them, because he finally got tapped back into the Force, because he kind of locked himself out from it to keep himself hidden, you find out in this season. And he gets put on this stone on a top of a mountain at a temple to access the Force to get a hold of another Jedi, who we do find out who that Jedi is at the very end, which is probably going to be the biggest spoiler in this review. And he's reopened to the Force and everything, and they show him using the Force. God damn. But of course, every time he uses the Force, he gets tired, he gets tuckered out, and he passes out, because that's what happens, because he's a baby, but he's 50. Because they also dated Baby Yoda. They said that he was in the Jedi Temple, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, being trained and everything. So he was there during the prequels. So because Ahsoka remembers him being there. And so, yeah, it's really cool that they dated. They literally placed him in the timeline to where he was. So, but he's 50. So, but he's a little baby still. But yeah, the episode with Ahsoka was great. And then towards the end of the season, we get Boba coming in. He asks Mando for his armor. He gets his armor back. And holy shit. Me growing up, I've never quite understood why people thought Boba Fett was so cool. Because I watched Star Wars for the first time probably back in 1993 when I was 5. And he really didn't do anything in the original trilogy. He didn't. He looked badass, but he really didn't do anything. But damn, he did some shit in this freaking last few episodes. Especially I think it was the 5th episode or the 6th episode. I can't quite remember. When he shows up and asks for his armor. He has one of those banta stick things that the Sand people. He beats the hell out of some stormtroopers with that thing. Kicks the living shit out of the bastards. And he gets his armor back before the Razor Crest blows up. Ugh, they blew up Mando's ship. Damn it. Like, blew it up to pieces. It's nothing. And man, Boba kicks some ass and takes some names when he gets his armor back, baby. Woo! He's a little chubby in the armor, but that's okay. He's old. He's old, everybody. And then in the last couple episodes, when you see him, his armor's all fresh and fresh painted and looks brand new. It's really cool. You've never seen it look like that before, because in the prequels it even looked beat up and tattered. So, and then they all band together. You have, not Ahsoka. I was hoping Ahsoka was going to come back, but she didn't. But that's okay, because she's getting her own series. They all band together, and they go after Moff Gideon, where they have Baby Yoda, Grogu, captured. I can't talk today. And they all go with Bo-Katan and Mando and freaking Boba Fett. And they all go and attack and get Grogu back on Moff Gideon's ship. And you know him, he's got that damn Darksaber, everybody. And Bo-Katan's after that thing because whatever Mandalorian has the Darksaber, they're the leader of the Mandalorians, basically. That's the whole lore with the Darksaber. So that's why she's after it. Mando could give shit about it, so, but he does end up with it at the end of the show, so even though he doesn't want it, so it kind of pisses Bo-Katan off. And then the biggest thing that happens at the end of the show, which hit me right here in the chest, honestly, got me tearing up a bit when it happened. An X-Wing flies into the bay, the docking bay, on this Imperial ship. And it's just one X-Wing, and you see a cloaked figure get out, and he busts out his green lightsaber. That's right. That's right. And they show an awesome, badass sequence of him tearing through these Imperial droids, super droids that Moff Gideon built, just going through this ship. And there's probably at least 40 to 50 of them throughout the ship, and he just takes them out. And you know it's Luke. You just know it's Luke, because he's got the glove on the one hand that he lost, and it was awesome. They CG'd Mark Hamill's face and shit, and he came back to do the voice, obviously. The CG looked good, I would say, for, I mean, it is a TV show, but they do put movie quality budget into it, but it looked amazing. It was so cool to see Mark Hamill come back and do that and do the voice, and you know, they CG'd him to look just like he did basically after Return of the Jedi, because this is 5 years after that. It was just so cool. And I mean, Grogu went with him, which is really sad. It makes you wonder where season 3 is going to go, where it's going to pick up. Is Grogu going to be in season 3? I think he is. I think something's going to happen to make Mando and him get back together. I just do, because he's going off with Luke to keep training and everything. So, but it was so cool to see Luke doing some badass Jedi shit, everybody. That's right. Probably the coolest Luke Skywalker shit in anything that we've seen him do, to tell you the truth. It was awesome. And it really wasn't even Mark Hamill doing it. That was the crazy part. But they made it look so good, though. Like, having him cloaked the entire time so he didn't really have to show his face. Like, smart. They were geniuses with it. So, I loved the hell out of this season. If these seasons keep going like this, man, The Mandalorian's going to be epic shit. Awesomeness. I'm really wondering where they're going with season 3. With the way everything ended. Mando's got the Darksabers. So technically, he's the leader of the Mandalorians now. Grogu went with Luke. He's gone. So, we got a bunch of spin-off shows coming out of this show now. Just awesome shit, everybody. If I had to give this season of The Mandalorian a score, honestly, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Besides that second episode, I thought they were all great. So, 10 out of 10, everybody. Alright, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this review discussion of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, everybody. And I'll be catching you on the tube laters, because I have spoken.